From her introduction, you know everything you need to know about Toph Beifong. A tiny girl with a loud mouth who has the power to back up her words. She is fierce, incredibly gifted and talented, and not to mention the greatest earthbender in the world. To the team, she gives them added edge, power, and muscle that I think they desperately needed. While I believe the storm kickstarted Avatar into greatness, it's not far-fetched to believe that the Blind Bandit episode and the Blind Bandit herself gave them confidence that would allow them to soar to new heights in the second book. Toph's addition brought a fresh and unique perspective. From the tragic stories of the Air Nomad genocide and the war-torn Southern Water Tribe, Toph is wealth and privilege. In her early design and in her name, as she is the only character with a last name, but the Beifong's daughter is rather straightforward. She is tough, strong, and stubborn, much like her element. And unfortunately for her, her blindness has shaped her entire life. Toph doesn't let her disability define her, but her parents have let her blindness define their daughter. With that, everything she has done, all of her improvements in regards to her earthbending ability, is to prove that she can be more than a helpless girl. Because there is no way that the most talented earthbender in the world can be helpless. Through bitter work, Toph shows her understanding of bending as a whole. She understands that earthbending requires a certain mindset and mental fortitude, to think like an earthbender, and to attack problems head-on and head-first. But aside from her abilities, Toph is coddled and monitored because of her blindness, and her father says it clearly.
She is blind and tiny and helpless and fragile.
And while they seem to have the good intention of any parent to protect their child, when she flexes her powerful bending, they become even more overprotective. And through the Blind Bandit's whole life, that is how it's always been. She is so shielded from the world that even in her 12 years of life, she hasn't even made a single friend. And by way of that, Toph becomes someone who yearns for freedom, to be her own person, and she desperately craves independence. All of this has created Toph's hardened exterior, because while she wants that autonomy, she searches for people who like her for who she is, not to pity her, and this makes her defensive as she is in the chase, taking Katara's request for help as pity. Further, through Toph's crude moments like burping and spitting and other hygienic choices, these can all be seen as her going against what she has been forced to do her whole life, which is to be a prim and proper daughter. The wealthy blind daughter of the Beifongs, who has perfect manners. Toph's journey is interesting. As she loves to be free and independent, her journey is based on the way she is able to interact with those around her, and her story is about trust and friendship. As stated with her upbringing and overall demeanor, it takes Toph a few bumps and bruises as well as a life-changing cup of tea with Iroh to understand that being helped is okay if it's out of love. And through this understanding, Toph begins to explore what friendship truly means. In the tales of Ba Sing Se, friendship is about vulnerability and trust. While we all know Toph to carry immense confidence and assurance in herself, when she gets mocked for her appearance, we see that confidence waver, and the mighty fearless earthbender held back and eventually shed tears. And Katara is the one who is able to rally her and tells her that she is pretty.
I am?
While she doesn't know what she looks like, she has trust in Katara's honesty and in her heart, which is quite a step for someone with the shell that Toph has. In the runaway, she goes head to head with Katara, who endangers the very independence that she left home to find. And here, Toph is forced to confront the guilt that she feels about her escape, and to face the pain her parents made her go through, and that she has brought onto them. By the end of the runaway, her journey is concluded, because not only does she open herself up to Sokka, but also to Katara, marking two significant moments where she felt she could open up to someone else. Physically, she has trusted her friends as she holds on to Aang and Sokka when there are no stable surfaces around. But in the runaway, she begins to trust them emotionally. She felt that she could be vulnerable and still feel safe. Moments where she isn't the blind bandit, but Toph, the 12-year-old girl. And these moments are Toph learning friendship. because I think that a friend is all she ever needed, and she was given 3 that love her for all that she is. And as her first friend was the Avatar, when she asks,
Do you really think friendships can last more than one lifetime?
Angry assures her that they will be friends forever, and that reassurance is what Toph needs. Despite her hardened exterior, what impresses me the most about the blind bandit isn't her skill. Though she is the greatest earthbender in the world, Toph is also compassionate and caring. Towards Iroh, she tells him that he should tell Zuko that he needs him too, or towards Zuko when she was quick to accept him in the group, and later assuring him that he has redeemed himself in his uncle's eyes. Further, look at her improvements in her sandbending after Appa was taken in the desert. This is a girl who cares, even if she doesn't know how to show it. When you consider who she travels with, she never looks down on her peers, and that's because she knows exactly how it feels. Toph has always been independent and autonomous, but she has had to learn to let others inside the world of Toph Beifong, a world where blindness doesn't take center stage, but what does take center stage is how deeply she can care for others and their emotions, her pride in her bending ability and innovation, and how she perfectly represents the element of earth. Toph is a girl who is strong, persistent, enduring, and consistent, much like the people of the Earth Kingdom. In a previous video, I spoke about how Avatar doesn't shy away from showing the different sides of masculinity, and it doesn't shy away from femininity either. Avatar tells the story of many complex woman characters, both good and evil, ranging from Katara, who fits the role of kind-hearted, soft, healing motherly figure, while simultaneously being one of the most dangerous benders alive, to her foil, the quote-unquote unladylike Toph, who is confident, rugged, and tough, who can be prim and proper but loves her healthy coating of mud, and Azula, who is the most cunning and calculated leader in the show. Avatar tends to display their leading women as prodigies, innovators, and talented fighters, and they contrast these leading women with powerful fighters like Suki, Ty Lee, and Mei, and even smaller ones like Smeller B, who in one line shows how she's trying to be more confident in who she is and in her appearance. And of course, I can't forget the baddest avatar of them all, Kyoshi. Avatar showcases femininity through different lenses and highlights the power, importance, and most of all the validity of all women, conventional or non-conventional, because there isn't one type. The sheer representation of complex, well-written women, even to this day, is few and far between, and Avatar excels at it. And to close off Toph's story, and to quote Sokka, I'm so glad they added Toph to the team.
Yeah, let's break some rules!